Might not get some taquitos, huh?
Might have to touch one to 7-Eleven.
You have a good stop.
That was while I was working with that dog. I tried to cut down on him.
Did it work?
Yeah,
She is more willing to take stuff from handlers she knows.
kind of figured. All right, Mama, come on over.
It's been a year. You claim that title now.
All right. Let's see if she'll do it. Oh, gosh. Yeah, give her a minute to just kind of calm down. I'll give you a little space. There you go. Okay, that's enough. There you go. There you go. Now what you can do, what I do typically with these, I start here and get everything pulled back on them. And I'll start with it just between my feet for dogs that are nervous. And you start throwing things in here. Then I'll stand up so she doesn't feel, see, I just went right in once I got out of the way. Good girl. And I start with that. So that just shows you a little bit about the spatial pressure. She didn't want to go in until I stood up. What does that tell you about leaning over to pet the dog and all of that? Right? Always be body neutral. Let her come in on her own. Let her start getting an idea of putting her nose inside the muzzle. Takes all my facial pressure away out of the situation, but it still allows me to kind of hold it in place. And then I can start to move to, where's my chair? I don't know who this rock guy is, but I'm thinking it's chair. Then I can move to things like putting it right between here. And that's when I'll start with the peanut butter, and I'll put it here. But then she can start to work her way in. But I would just have it here. Then I would start working the straps, getting her used to the idea of straps. Wouldn't happen in one day. Muzzle training should take only one day. Just hold between your feet like I had it. Don't worry about messing the floor up. I'll turn it around so she can come around the front of you, just like I was doing. Get out of the way. Give her a second, stand all the way up. Second harassment. Oops, drop the knee. Slow and steady incremental progress. This is where your marker can start working also. Let's do this real quick. But that's all we're going to do, try to size her for that.
Get her slowly starting to get her acclimated.
So that's
Taking it
pretty
slow.
much, it's pretty basic, you know, go slow approach. Over this time. Just add more to whatever she's doing with that. There you go.
And she's one that is liking to have you in her home to work with her and the other dog more together.
Stick your face in that hole.
She's incredibly smart, unfortunately.
And a quick tip also, there is one thing every dog figures out real quick. It's that they're being tricked. People who, my dog won't come in the house, so I go out there, all right, come here. They come in, you snatch the dog up. The dog goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They don't do twice. They go, okay, they go, yeah, bullshit. Right? It's like crate training or anything else. You start doing stupid things and trying to hurry up. I gotta get you in there. If you're doing that, you're sending your training backwards. They pick up on being tricked so easily. Good training is not tricking a dog. Good training is teaching your dog over so many repetitions the new behavior that you want them to do. 1,000 times, I throw the treat in there, they go in, they get the treat, they come back. 1,000 times, okay, so pretty soon that 1,001st time that I close the door, they go, you didn't trick me. You know, we've created a different kind of mindset for the dog. Good girl. Now she's starting to relax a little. Always working at our dog's pace. Don't trick your dogs. Train your dogs. Another thing, there's another thing I use quite a bit is don't test your dog, train your dog. People get a dog, you know, and I get the dog to stop reacting like we had dog number 2 there. You know, hey, don't react. And they go, well, let me see if they'll do it for this one. Well, why would you want to see if your dog is going to do something? I guarantee you it's going to do it. If you don't know the answer to the test, you're going to fail. But when we test our dog without giving them any answers at all. Yes?
Can you, like, I fail to understand why she's progressing the way that she is, despite all the attempts of training that have happened both at my house and at Jerry's house. I don't know why she went from being able to be good friends with a female dog, like best friends, like she could not be anywhere apart from Daisy, to now she's being so aggressive to that one female. She lived in a house with 8 other dogs and never got in a dog fight, and now she's fighting well, one time, sorry.
I was gonna say, excuse me, my dog begs to differ.
She got out at my house one time out of her crate and jumped on her dog and bit her female shepherd.
My shepherd,
Yeah.
my shepherd kept trying to go to my room where she knew she was safe. She kept trying to escape the situation and Hera kept coming after her.
But we had never actually done an intro to the 2 of them. But she was comfortable with everyone else in the house. So I'm just not sure why
Remember what
she's
we talked about
progressing.
earlier about we don't like every single person we meet? She may not like that dog. And it's not something that magically happens. Something in the, either A, something about the personality she doesn't like, B, possibility of former traumatic experience, a dog who looks, smells, or acts like her was in her past somewhere who had a negative response to her, and therefore she was remembering that emotional response. And so she just goes, I don't like that dog. There's nothing I like about it. Like it. How many people have you met, they never even open their mouth and go, I don't like it.
A lot.
Right? And us as being the evolved beings that we are, we learn some diplomacy. Alright? Dogs haven't evolved to that spot yet. And how do they handle what they don't like? They kill it. They destroy it. They just get away from me.
Especially now.
Yeah. Also, at what age did she start exhibiting this behavior towards the newest female, or the female she's going after?
She was 2.5 or 3 when she left my house, and that was about a year ago.
They got along for a little while,
Yeah.
and
And then she says, this is my house too, and I'll dictate what's gonna go
she
on.
quit me, I think, is what
Yep.
happened.
If there's an over-attachment, if there's some kind of, you know, what people call protection.
She bonds really deep with one person that's a woman, and she is just glued to them.
Yeah, our little Velcro dog. Yeah, a lot of people look at dogs who are acting that way around their exhibit and go, oh, she's protecting me.
Resource learning.
Anybody had that possessive boyfriend or girlfriend who wouldn't let you talk to anybody else? That's what your dog is. Your dog's going, you're mine. You don't get to, who are you? Why are you talking to my person? Why are you talking? You stay away from my person. It ain't protection like you need safety, like your health is at risk. It's, this is my resource, you get away from it. And when we look at it from that point of view, sometimes it helps us to change our mindset. We stop putting up with it. We stop being codependent. We stop enabling our dog's behavior. And we go, hey, I'm not yours, I'm an independent person. You can go over there, you don't get to correct me. What I would do typically in a dog where there's 2 dogs and one of them being the possessive girlfriend, that's when I start working really strong place setting. You go to your bed, you go to your bed. You guys learn to tolerate each other from here. I'm gonna call you, you come over, you get attention. Now go back to your bed. You can come over now, and I'll pet you. You start teaching them to be independent in their relationship to you. That this is not a 3-way relationship, it's a 2 one-way relationships. Make sense? Start having control of the dog. You're not getting to come over here and protect me from the other dog coming over to get some love. I have plenty of love to give. You don't get to dictate who I love or who I don't love. That make sense? Yeah. And so a lot of that control can really come into, and that's a lot of the therapy we use, especially for dogs, especially when it's a female on female aggression thing. And also sometimes we look at how is the other dog behavior. Is that dog more of a submissive type dog? Is it more of a leery dog? Does it show any kind of weakness? Does it show some kind of behavioral deficits that the other dog would go, hey, you're a weakness here. You need to go. And we see a lot of when our dogs start to age. How many of you had dogs who were seniors who could barely get around, and the young dog coming in started getting aggressive towards the older dog? Have you seen that? It happens. Yeah, they're like, it's time for you to go, bud. Go find your hole out in the forest, because your time here is done. It's cruel, it's mean, it's ugly, it's terrible to us as humans. Dogs have not evolved yet. They have not socially evolved. You know, they're not worried about doggy rights and senior rights or anything like that. They just operate off of their instinct. So I would look at every factor that's involved in that. Where's the dog? What's this dog behavior? But more importantly, more controls for her going, you don't get to behave that way. It's not a matter of punishing that behavior. It's about teaching her what behaviors we want her to do instead. Any questions?
I know you had a lot, and when all this wraps up, let's talk more one-on-one so you can sit down with Rob and come up with a little more of a game plan. And anyone here who's worked with your dogs and you have more questions, I know we're kind of flying through quick so everybody can see a little bit of everything, but if you have more one-on-one questions, jump in at the end and talk to Rob about them.
That's a good girl. Always try to make your training little sessions, whatever session is, always have it end on that happy note too. Get your dog to a happy place, because that way the next time they come in, they'll remember the end, not the beginning. That's what we're trying to do. Get our dogs. Dog training should be like an arc, all right? And if you overextend the arc, you fall further back. You always want your arc to stop right about here where your training is. That way you only have to back up a little before you start again to get her back up to the next level. If you go and you arc and then you drop back over to the negative side, you've got to drop all the way back to where you were the first time. So always try to end it on the most happy, clear-headed, the dog going like this right now, she couldn't be any better than this. All right? I got my person, I got peanut butter, life's amazing. It's not about yelling and screaming at dogs. I can't stress that enough. Just because the dog needs to be a correction, get a correction, or if a dog ever needs a punishment, it isn't because we're mad. It ain't because we're angry. Just don't do that. That's my philosophy. I ain't mad at you, just stop doing it. That's all we need from our dog. All right?
Thank you. So Susan with German Shepherd Rescue Northern California will be bringing in her foster. This is going to be Archer. He is 1 to 3 year old male German Shepherd. He's been with the rescue for 6 months now, and his issue is confidence around crowds. So he came to the crowds.
Oh.
Not cows.
We have that problem at home.
We do. So he'll be coming in.